everybody, and welcome to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And looks like those pesky school board meetings are mounting up, and we have just a couple of things to coming right up. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Black Spring with Autumn. It is your Saturday, and I know this is 11th hour, but no less, I have some what I consider treats for you today, and I don't think you're going to want to miss it because I think it's one of the most cringe things that I've seen in a long time. In fact, I don't think I've seen anything this cringe since I think what the inspiring tune where this is, you'll see what I mean. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hello, Old School Wolf Media. Thanks so much for coming in. So I do have something of a parody, I guess. It's to me, it's actually more of a medley because there's probably like four of these tunes, four of these little tunes that are put together. But the first one I haven't seen, and I haven't seen the very last one. So we have that, and we also have a parent that I excluded from last night's stream, who's kind of crushing she's crushing the CRT, I guess, in these parts. I guess it's known as the critical race theory. So we have that, and maybe we'll have time for one other thing. So we'll be right back after we do a little bit of the Twitch honor roll. And thank you so much for coming in on your Saturday. Be right back.
This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this.
Honor roll for you, and I'll be right back. Yikes. You know, if I had like $1 million every time I do that, then I would be I'd have one less thing to deal with. But thank you for that, sleek stakes rule. I really appreciate the update on that. So I will not mute myself anymore. All right, so thanks so much. So we're gonna go over to, I have this clip for you. Hope you guys are doing well on your Saturday, and thank you for lending me your ear on a Saturday. I do think it's still Saturday in most places. Yeah, definitely in the States, it's still Saturday. So we're going to get going here right away. I just have to put this one on pause. All right, I really appreciate you guys so much for coming in. And we're going to be going here in just a few seconds. Of course, we still have ads around here, but unfortunately, you can't skip any of the ads. you can't skip any of the Black Spring ads. Zero the Infinite asked that once upon a time. So no, can't quite skip my ads, my homegrown ads, but you may be able to skip some other ads. However, I'm gonna go ahead and show this. This is only about 1 minute and 40 seconds, but it's nice to hear somebody speak out about the lunacy that's going on. And it's nice to have somebody that happens to be, like this, whatever, yeah, because, everybody in the Black community has their own individual mind. And I think this is, you're not alone. So you don't have to, oh my gosh, we don't really hear from as many people as we should. As at times, I think everybody's so socially engineered and so emotionally attached to their alias and their, dare I say, their government status in many instances. So I will leave that there. But I'm going to take you to the parent, and I will be right back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will give you the full scale on this one.
Luther King Jr., I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Now I have a dream that we will implement love, not hate, or supporting another Jim Crow's agenda. CRT is not an honest dialogue. It is a tactic that was used by Hitler and the Ku Klux Klan on slavery very many years ago to dumb down my ancestors so we could not think for ourselves. CRT is racist. It is abusive. It discriminates against one's color. Let me educate you. An honest dialogue does not oppress. An honest dialogue does not implement hatred or injustice. It's to communicate without deceiving people. Today, we don't need your agreement. We want action and a backbone for what we asked for today, to ban CRT. We don't want your political advertisement to divide our children or belittle them. Think twice before you indoctrinate such racist theories. You cannot tell me what is or is not racist. Look at me. I had to come down here today to tell you to your face that we are coming together and we are strong. This will not be the last. Greet and meet respectfully.
All right. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And I see Awesome Alice in the house. Hi, Awesome Alice. How are you? Yes, I think she was on fire. And I think, I think it's not going to be the end of her or more like her. I think they're going to...
Let me show you how to create an amazing ad using stock footage. Go to artgrid.io.
A little bananas.
Look at all this great footage. It was always a challenge for me to create a high-end commercial only with stock footage. With art.
Okay, I did it again. Okay, so I think people are going to have to stand up and they're going to have to, start talking and do more than talking in many ways. So, but unfortunately, I think people are waking up, but I think it's just, I say that even that word, the word or the phrase waking up, I think that's even a little bit not, I don't think it's appropriate anymore. I think it's obsolete at this point. It's either, do or die almost. I just do what you got to do. If you don't, then, don't be surprised where you wind up is all that's where I am on that. So I think there will be more school board meetings. And I told you guys in the past, I don't issue action projects around here. I kind of tiptoe around it. I do kind of suggest like soft action projects, but and then this is the way I've treated the whole civic engagement, or if you want to go the service route. I mean, there's many ways that you can do it. And most of it would apply to many things that are happening right now, but I think it should have started so much earlier. Unfortunately, like the school board meeting, to me, I don't even, like, when I'm thinking back about it, I'm not even sure how many parents I may have had that actually attended school board meetings. I don't know. But the ones that, I think the ones that did, they already had some kind of status, or they were either, maybe they were a city employee, or they already had some kind of connection. Unfortunately, I think the circle just kind of stays, it kind of remains the same. But then the parents, I would have all kinds of parents talking amongst themselves and in communities, and, but they weren't active. They didn't even just come down. I mean, I'm not saying that political engagement or civic duties it's easy to get involved in public discourse. But I think if you want to make a difference, you have to start somewhere. You have to start smaller. And why not with the school board, especially if your kids attend public schools? Yeah, I mean, it's an important thing to do. And who knows? Who knows what will happen? Or maybe you could, if you're interested in serving, maybe you want to run for an office. But I think we got a lot of bad actors, and they're not going anywhere. I mean, we had a lot of leaking photos. I mean, not photos, but leaking video from, school boards from around the country. And it was all, I mean, people were stunned, but I don't even know if that was honest, for people to be stunned about what kind of people are serving on these, on the boards or serving on the committees, and how they kind of get elevated to power. So, we've talked about school boards, city council meetings. Maybe even in the past, I even mentioned like just going down, and because we've had a lot of people that come to this country and they actually go through the immigration process. I mean, there's things that I've done. There's been things I've been a part of where you can go down to one of the halls, and they would register people, or we would register people after they graduated or whatnot. I mean, because there's a representative from some organization that's sitting there waiting for these, for people that have, they've passed their citizenship test. And, yeah, but there's somebody always out there waiting to receive them, but it's not nearly enough. You don't have nearly enough volunteers, and, what can I say? But that's on some level. You can get involved that way. You actually would know what's going on. I mean, but there again, it's your choice. And if you can't go, maybe find somebody else that can go in your stead, or maybe delegate someone to go, or yeah, but that's that. So I'm going to move us on. I am going to save the medley or the parody for later. I am going to do that. But I also want to say hello to Min and Ram TV. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And also to Awesome Alice, who says, "United we stand, divided we fall." Yes, we've heard that before, but I don't know. I think people, believe about that, but do they believe in it? That's the ticker for me. Hi, Killer Whale Channels. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all your support. So we're going to get ready to move on. I am going to save the parody for later, but we're going to go on to something else. I'm just saying, like, This is worse than hypocrisy that we're seeing, of course, on many levels. But we're going to go to a story in which we have, looks like Biden had a meeting with, I guess, some of those who are the pending DACA status, or the students of that from that time period. We're also going to have a story from a woke teen that's basically demanding that CRT theory to be taught in all K through 12 classrooms. So can you just see where there's just like, it's everywhere. So I think we'll start with the Biden meeting, and yeah, we'll start there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And I said before, if you haven't had a chance to hit the like button or the unlike button, or dare to share, or just, simply make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, you have time to do that before the close of the stream. So I'm going to get ready to share I'm going to share the screen with you. Thank you guys so much for coming in. And it is Saturday. This month is flying by. Don't you agree? If you don't agree, I don't know. Maybe you're watching paint dry or something. But I actually I may have some footage for you. And then we have somebody out of SoCal, which I'm telling you, it's like we have the most elite people that are in Washington, D.C. right now. And these people are just not, I don't know. The most compelling thing right now seems to be emotions. Emote. The winner is who can emote the most, or the first one offended is the winner. All right, so I'm going to try to give you guys the full scale on this, and we're going to keep going. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All right, so this is coming from Fox News, which I'm going to be honest, I think the media has, dare I say, they've all kind of changed their tune just slightly. They're shifting as well, but, for how long, I can't say. I don't know what the swell is, but according to this is coming out of Fox News, and it was published less than 24 hours ago. Biden holds West Wing meeting with 6 illegal immigrants. We are home. The 6 DACA recipients, sometimes called, quote, dreamers, end quote, were invited to the Oval Office. When was the last time anybody else was invited to the Oval Office? I'll wait. Okay, I'm going to keep going here before somebody responds to that. And I'm sure you guys probably have a lot to say about that. Like, when have the people been to their house? I don't know. I'm not supposed to say that, right? All right. So President Biden invited a group of deferred action for childhood arrivals program recipients in the Oval Office Friday amid a push for immigration reform in Washington. Biden faces a mountain migrant crisis at the southern border, is working to extend the DACA program, an Obama era effort to protect people who were brought to the U.S. as children, which came under fire during the Trump administration. 6 DACA recipients, sometimes called, quote, dreamers, end quote, were invited to the White House meeting. Maria Praley, a self-described, quote, undocumented American, end quote, was among those invited. She shared numerous photos from the trip to Twitter throughout the day under the hashtag #WeAreHome, including one taken just outside of the West Wing. All right, so maybe you can see the imagery here. If you guys ever need more full scale, then you can just give me a I don't know, maybe we can make a universal 1 or universal 2 for things that are not so favorable. 1 if yes, and 2 if no, or 2 for not so good. Okay. All right, so you can see you do have 6 DACA, or at least they're entitling them illegal immigrants here in this picture. All right, and you guys can see this agenda. You can see this agenda is, dare I say, it's worse than it's worse than antithesis or opposite. It's way more extreme than that. Another guest, Astu Tian, not sure the origin of this name, reportedly arrived in the U.S. from Senegal when she was 7, but didn't know she was an illegal immigrant until she applied for college. Representative Sarah Jacobs, a California Democrat, used the occasion to call on Senate to pass the Development Relief and Education for Alien Minors Act, or DREAM Act, which would create a pathway to citizenship for DACA recipients. Okay, so here you have pictured from Jacobs's, this is Congresswoman Jacobs' Twitter page, as at POTUS meets with DACA recipients today. I'm thinking of Javier, a proud dreamer and a San Diego State student who is pursuing a career in education. Javier and dreamers like him deserve security and peace of mind. The Senate must pass the DREAM Act now. The hashtag home is here. Okay, so I'm not sure if I play this. I don't know. Maybe I'll put this in the link for you. I'm not going to. Right now, I won't play it. That request, however, doesn't appear likely anytime soon. Immigration bill negotiations led by Senators Dick Durbin, Democrat of Illinois, and Johnny Cornyn, Republican of Texas, have barely budged following weeks of talks. And the Biden administration's border point person, Vice President Kamala Harris, is facing mounting criticism over her handling of the migrant issue. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich called on the president to put someone else in that position earlier this week following what he called her, quote, abysmal, in quote, response to the rising number of arrivals. And Senator Mitt Romney, Republican in Utah, turned to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas during a hearing Thursday, grilling him over the administration's border response as Border Patrol encounters have skyrocketed. Mayorkas, for his part, said earlier this year that DHS was working to, quote, preserve and fortify, end quote, the DACA program. So, we'll see what happens with that. I mean, of course, there's pressure. Of course, there's pressure. They could care less about what's going on with the average American, or they could care less. And that's my assertion. Okay. It's not about what's good for the people that already live here, or whether we actually feel at home, or whether can we put our suitcases down, or are we picking up our suitcases, or are we putting them down? I just think that's what it is. So I'm going to share that link with you. I'm not sure how long that little clip is. I can't say it's little or how big it is because I have not played it. But I'm going to give you this link while links are still free. Right? It's Pre-Dem. I don't know, Pre-Dem, your name is very tricky to me. It shouldn't be, but it is. I think it's great. It's a great name. And but to me, I almost want to say some other word that doesn't have anything to do with your name. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. So let's move on, shall we? We're going to go to the next story. And the next story, we're going to kind of circle back. We're going to loop back into the CRT, in which a woke teen demands critical race theory in all K through 12 classrooms. Now, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I think that we're spinning around. At times, it does not seem like anyone is running anything. What is going on? Did you guys elect the CDC to give you directives or to pass laws on anything? It's just bizarre. It's just the most bizarre time ever. But now we have a woke teen, very similar. This is no different than a Greta Thunberg making these kinds of demands. Like, everybody is running our institutions except for the people. And I think I've been consistent about that. And I'm serious. Like, no one that's elected is running anything. It seems, it just seems like anything goes. The more chaos, the better. So yes, I'm going to share this story with you, and it's coming out of the Sentinel, Liberty Sentinel. Jermaine G, how are you? Thanks so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. I'm getting ready to share another screen with you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And thank you for your patience as always. So I come in on the 11th hour. Sometimes things don't quite line up or they're not as smooth. But thank you so much for coming in. All right, so I'm going to go into this one, and I'm not even familiar with the name of the person involved in this, but you know what, I've told you this before. The UN said long time ago that children were the agents of change. So, you know, we're listening to everybody but those elected or the adults in the room. How's that? All right, so the Liberty Sentinel, okay? So you have another demonstration here. As you can see, there's your imagery to the left. All right. Woke teens demand critical race theory in all K through 12 classrooms. The adults in the room here need to step in. All right. Reno, Nevada, May 13th, 2021. Christian Newswire, Washoe County School District Board of Trustees is pushing radical critical race theory curriculum starting in kindergarten. In addition, they are seeking grants that would allow them to implement policies that will radically change hiring practices and could force the district to stop hiring white teachers. The Washoe County School District's Equity and Diversity Department had been waiting to present the district board with its, quote, equity action plan for some time. When the student activist group, quote, the WCSD Students for Change, end quote, began showing up at the district board meetings in 2020 demanding changes to board policy, curriculum, and hiring practices. It provided the department just the green light they were looking for. You see what happens here? I'm digressing just for a second. You've got all these little auxiliary groups that are showing up. And they're being funded. They're being funded by, dare I say, other radicals or other globalists or other NGOs. The NGOs are always in the house, for the lack of a better word, when you're talking about school board meetings, city council meetings. They are well represented. So the fact that you've got the student group showing up for curriculum, board policy, and district hiring practices. Okay, I digress. The District Board of Trustees, eager to demonstrate its responsiveness to the impassioned high school students' demands, voted to implement the action plan in February 2021. Since then, the district has revised board policy, allowing district teachers to engage in political discussions with their students during valuable instruction time, adopted a, quote, culturally responsive, end quote, curriculum dripping with critical race theory, and mandated all district staff to participate in ongoing, quote, equity training, end quote, courses. The WCSD Students for Change, quote, we fight for inclusive curriculum and school policy in Washoe County and the state of Nevada. We're building a grassroots movement to promote the representation of Black, Indigenous, and people of color. There you go with the word salads, the BIPOC and LGBT plus people in textbooks, curriculum, and policy. Founded on the power of student activism, we work to combat systemic racism, white supremacy, homophobia, transphobia, erasure in schools by organizing and amplifying youth voice, end quote. The district's, quote, anti-racism resolution, end quote, equity task force, quote, equity action plan, quote, equity training, and board policy 4500 revamp are all being driven by this organized and vocal group of students. Karen England, executive director of the pro-family watchdog group Nevada Family Alliance, quote, right now, more than ever, WCSD kids and the adults need the adults in the room to be the adults and stop this nonsense, end quote. WCSD Students for Change, quote, demand, end quote, letter to the district superintendent reads, quote, as the citizens of the United States takes to the street to protest not just the police murder of George Floyd, but also the inequity that people of color experience every day in our country. We ask you to join in recognizing the systemic nature of racial inequity and the role WCSD would play in building a safer and better world for students of color. Quote, people of color in the Washoe County School District deserve not only an education in history or science, but an education in the truth of the institutional racism upon the country of which our country was founded. Quote, similarly, students must be educated about the privilege white Americans inherit from their history. Quote, students must learn how to resist and dismantle the systems they step into when they leave the WCSD school system. And this requires more than a school system that is not racist. The WCSD must be expressly anti-racist. 64,000 students who are not racist cannot close a wage gap or end police violence, but 64,000 anti-racist can, end quote. Karen England, Nevada Family Alliance, quote, considering how convenient WCSD students for change is for the district's goals, one cannot help but wonder who exactly the adults are behind this group, end quote. In addition, the Washoe County School District has applied for grant funding mandating the implementation of special hiring practices that will place a finger on the scale for non-white teacher applicants. The grant comes with strings and will help to embed the racial justice agenda into all aspects of district work. Quote, principal pipeline, end quote, money will be used to ensure only individuals who demonstrate fidelity to tenets of the critical race theory narrative will be positioned in the WCSD schools. Once installed, these principles will demand teachers indoctrinate their young pupils in, quote, anti-racist, end quote, critical race theory beliefs or lose their jobs. That's kind of loaded, right? But see, there again, I think they brought out an excellent point that these things, these groups, these NGOs, they don't materialize just overnight. This has been in the making. And I don't know why, like I'm saying, I'm just thinking, that's why I don't like using the term waking up anymore, because nobody wanted to believe anything, the conspiracy theorist had to say, because it was just too fantastic, I guess. I don't know. But now it's just in your face. It's in the face of people that weren't really paying attention. They said, oh, everything's fine. We're moving right along. Now, this means some people emotionally moved right along after, November, but some people didn't. But I find even that not to be 100% true, because some people are still angry. They're so angry about the results. But I think there was something specific that came out. The point is that these students are being backed and they are making demands. This is no different than a teachers union or an NGO with the same kind of power. That's the driving force behind this. So I guess people are going to sit around, that kids that actually need to attend public schools or have no other choice, they're going to sit around and let these NGOs and these student indoctrinated radicals drive any kind of diversity or drive everyone out if they don't comply. And yeah, I don't know. As I've said this before, you're going to have to stand up. I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, I think the time for just kind of sitting back and clutching your pearls and oh my, I think that's done. I really think it is. And I really think that things are really out of hand right now. This is my personal opinion. However, we'll certainly keep an eye on that story, because I mean, you guys, I play, like, I give you guys a little bit of imagery on equity, which I think is pretty accurate. I think it's visually very accurate. And to me, people are teaching hate. That's exactly what they're teaching. They're trying to figure out how, no, I'm going to tell you, it's not just hate. It's going to be driven, I think, by hate. But I think that they are using people dare I say, people of color, which is their language. They're Black, Indigenous people of color, They're using these people to usher in the fall of this country. They have, especially the Black community, they have socially engineered so much that they've socially engineered the Black community to being attack dogs. They've socially engineered the Black community into being as basically helping them usher in a new government for a totally different system. And it's not going to end well. It's going to equal death and destruction is what it is to me. It's pretty clear. I mean, many people have lured people in the past, people from the Black community in the past, for communism. They've basically tried to influence them in the past because it was all about the plight. It was all about the plight back then, whether it was the 60s or whatnot. You've got plenty of people that have professed to being trained in Russia and that they wanted to take over the Black Belt. The Black Belt was a part of the one of the original plans. One day I'll share that with you. I really will. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. So it's almost time for our parody / medley. And it'll be a nice little intermezzo to all of this CRT, which is just, it's despicable. It's gross. And I don't know. I hope any of my colleagues that are still, that haven't run out of the door screaming, that they will stand up, or they're going to have to, hit the road, Jack. That's what you're going to have to do. But yeah, I'll move on. I will say hi to everybody in the stream. And it's Marcy T's here. Hi, Marcy T. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. I'm going to take a quick little break, and then we're going to get on with our parody and medley of the segment. So thank you so much. And AZ Infidel, good evening to you. Thanks so much for coming in, for supporting us around here. I really appreciate it. And I will be right back.
Hey guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn, and I am going to take you to we're going to go with our parody of the evening, and our parody / medley of the evening. And it was as soon as I heard this, I recognized exactly where the era that it came from. So I don't know, tell your age or show your appreciation for this kind of a thing. But you might recognize this. And it's actually, I think it's about 3 or 4 minutes. I do. think it's about 3 or 4 minutes. So hang on 1 second. All right. I hope it's actually going to be smooth to work here. Okay. All right, guys, it looks like we're ready for this one, and I'm going to give you full scale on this one because you might be happy to get full scale on this. All right.
Hiya, Fiza.
Hi, Ben.
You got any extra shots?
Sure, Ben.
Sleeves up.
I'm a Pfizer girl in a COVID world. I'm the classic, mRNA-tastic, 95%. There's no argument. Got no contagion with my vaccination.
Come on, Fiza, let's go party.
With a fast line.
Come on, Fiza, let's go travel.
Only if essential. Oh, we're having so much fun.
Dr. Fauci, give us vaccines. Help all the people who have been quarantined. We'll wear our masks and we'll have to stay distant. We'll wash our hands and we'll be more resistant. Fauci, yes? Promise us, please. We'll have a cure that can fight off this disease. Restrictions will lift with some ease. Dr. Fauci, don't forget me.
Avoiding the crowds, not coming out. Got my mask on, it's true. Use a background on Zoom that is magical. 'Cause life feels so terrible. Now wearing jeans can't feel glamorous with White House briefings that don't leave us with trust. And before our eyes saw you under flashing lights. Now you know that Tony, I'm your biggest fan. I'm trusting everything you tell me. Dr. Fauci, Tony, there's no other superstar except for MD. Dr. Fauci, your eyes are really kind, and I won't stop until you speak your mind. Tony, you're so famous, won't shake hands until you let me. Dr. Fauci. You're the reason that I watch the show, and Deborah Brooks and her scars. Yeah, 'cause you're my no stars in between the mess and your Brooklyn accent. Yeah, I'm concerned about the bridges we burn. WHOY, but one thing's not a lie, that you'll win the prize for sexiest man alive. You know that Tony, I'm your biggest fan. I'm trusting everything you tell me. Dr. Fauci, Tony, there's no other superstar except for MD. Dr. Fauci, your eyes are really kind, and I won't stop until you speak your mind. Tony, you're so famous, won't shake hands until you let me. Dr. Fauci.
All right, guys. How's that for your Saturday? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up just for a few minutes. I'll give you guys your usual 3 to 5 unless we get carried away, which That happens around here. I don't. That's kind of a parody, right? Kind of got a range, of I don't know, of idolatry there, right? Am I? I don't know. For my people that are a little bit more astute than me. I mean, what do you call that? It looks like I saw somebody say Fauciism inside of the stream there. So I'm gonna put this link out here. I thank you guys so much for coming in, and yeah, I was happy to watch that with you guys. And Az says it's a cult. Yeah, it's a little bit Jonestown-ish, right? Maybe it's a little worse than that. It's definitely worse than we thought. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run out for a second, and I'm going to take a really quick break, and I'll be right back. Let me know if you guys, no pressure here, but the link is there, and I will be right back.
This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this.
All right, guys, I thank you guys so much for humoring me on this Saturday, and that you were able to catch such a parody. I do believe, I want to say that the original, that was a Barbie girl inspired. I think it was Aquarius, maybe, and it's kind of remarkable that I actually came up with that. But yeah, it was. I think it was the Barbie girl was the original tune on that they kind of did that parody on. I do remember that. I remember the tune, and it was pretty gross. It was pretty gross even then, but to set it to a government contractor, and what was it? We've seen Stranger Things, like what was it around Easter or close to Easter that there was actually a Fauci Day declared or something. I don't know. This is just a little bit bizarre for me, for my taste. And hello to Zero the Infinite. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And Killer Whale Channel says, lol slouchy. Awesome Alice says, Falsey looks like the guy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah, I remember those movies. And Awesome Alice also says, have you seen the new Army cartoons? No, I haven't. Yeah, so yeah, but I thought that was a little bit loaded, but I would imagine that more things are going to come out. And I think for whatever reason, New York always, they will not be outdone. If you guys remember, for those of you that are regulars around here, if you're new to the place, welcome as always. Hello, Chrysler Imperial H. Thanks so much for coming in and for supporting the channel. You remember we had New York, their hip hop public health organization that basically funded an anthology that had 5 videos, and we suffered through those for 5 weeks straight. I was consistent on those, so at least you knew at least every Thursday from the time of of their release that you were going to get to see one of those anthologies. And even that was targeting, to me, they were targeting the Black community on that. And even that, we can thank Rachel Van Zyl for helping us spot some nuance, and along with a rhetoric and propaganda loaded anthology from that time. So yeah. uh, Zero the Infinite says, wrapped in plastic, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's definitely a bubble. But yeah, but typically, I mean, I think just for the arts, I think New York typically spends quite a bit of money they're historically known for spending quite a bit of money on their citizens. Like, maybe is it per capita? I'm not sure what the measurement, how it's measured, but they put the money into it. Not to mention they brought out what is it, McDaniels, DMC McDaniels on that. They brought out some other shelved rappers to motivate you. And then the other day we had De Blasio, getting you ready for your Shake Shack. So he says they were going to keep incentivizing it and keep making it fun. And then, of course, was the Global Citizens is going to be back. Global Citizens going to be back with concerts. And it's just very, I guess it's very audacious and very elite that they actually believe that everybody, defers to them. Like, everybody looks to them for their entertainment. And people aren't watching your Golden Globes and your awards for yourselves. Do you really think people are going to want to come back to your concerts? And for the people that are waking up just now, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe you guys are going to go out to some of these concerts. So yeah, so I guess less Toyota concerts for the summer, and more Global Citizens / the Vax Live kind of a bit. So yes, thank you guys so much for coming, and hello to the TR Show. TR Show, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. It's nice to see you around. And Awesome Alice says, yeah, get your gab and a little diabetes on the side. Yeah. We had, what was it, Thrillist? Thrillist told you where you can get all of the fatty fixings, whether it was donuts or what was it? You can even get a joint in some of these places, and some of them are expired, but I would imagine they would roll out more for the summer. You had donuts, you had cupcake size cheesecakes from Junior's restaurant in New York. I mean, just, but there's nothing healthy about if it's all about health and restoring people, how are you going to do it with things that, drag people down and clog their arteries? And how are you going to do that? I would even imagine that's not even the New York way, right? To eat, to just gorge and mow on junk like that. I mean, of course, if they live there, they already know what exists. They already know what's there, but are they fancying these places every single day or even weekly? I don't know about that. But, whatever he thinks he needs to say is what he's going to say. And of course, he had to have the owner of the Shake Shack to remind you that, of course, we're here for the underserved communities too. So, make sure we get some fat that's cheap for you underserved people too. It's all about you. All right, guys, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Awesome Alice, can you tell us more about this? You said zero soon it be Solvit Green. It said 2022. I'm not sure what you mean on that, Awesome Alice. I think I've heard the term, but I'm not sure what the 22. I'm not making the connections is what I'm saying. I'm sure, you're always on the dime there. Don't worry about Awesome Alice. She will keep us going here for sure. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming in to this 11th hour segment of Black Spring with Autumn on your Saturday, and thanks for burning some minutes. Yeah, thanks for burning some minutes on your Saturday here. And AZ Infidel says lab created meat. Yeah, well, but I'm going to be honest. I think that they've already got the forerunner. They've already got forerunners for that. Like all the, if you go into your grocer's freezer section or wherever you go, you're already seeing the alternatives. You've already, dare I say, I mean, and this has been happening for a while. Do you guys remember? I don't know, the tofurkey. I the tofurkeys and the alternative the burgers, the plant-based burgers, or you've already seen those items. In fact, even I think was it Burger King maybe once upon a time they were doing something like that. And I've just been always a little bit skeptical about, usually when they say if you receive something, an item, and it says, oh, less, it's sugar free, and it usually means that they're going to just raise the sodium content, or versus oh, it's salt free, and then you end up with more salt and more yeah, they up the carbs, so whatever, yeah. But I don't typically do the alternative. If I'm not going to do meat, then I'm just not going to do. I'm not going to do it. Oh, Chrysler, thanks so much. Chrysler says, I see commercials for the plant-based meat. Right. I mean, and guess who's been doing quite a bit of talking about meat, and like I said, you guys know. You don't need you. I don't need to get you guys off the dime. You guys keep us healthy around here. And Zero the Infinite says, Are you eating though? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for beginners. You ain't even know. What? I tried to get that off, but I think it went wrong. I went wrong with it. Let's see. Chrysler Imperial H says Burger King has the Impossible Burger. Have you guys had that? What is that about? Is that an alternative burger, or I don't know. Yeah. But there's also a movie that I've talked about in the past that you guys should probably watch that as well, because it's almost like we just keep playing out this whole thing. And AZ Infidel says, more or less behind the scenes, I think we're seeing the rollout of the Great Reset. Thank you so much for that, AZ. Yes, I think you're on to something there without a doubt. I mean, like I said, every now and then I check in with the World Economic Forum, and I've been doing a little bit less of it lately, but it's only because I am trying to get a better understanding of the 4IR, which is the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which is very much, I think it's pretty synonymous with the Great Reset. But, I will, I'm sure I'll have something to contribute from that pretty soon. But yeah, it's kind of it's like turning out to be a Schwab and a Gates kind of a world. And I'm not sure if we went over it here, but it's also, I think, some of the East Coast, what is it? If it's not MIT, I think Gates and some of his friends are planning on doing the experiment with the sun in July. I think out of Sweden, maybe they're going to be releasing something. So yeah, the weather is really bizarre. I mean, which I tend to wear like a little jacket or a hoodie regularly, but I think it's necessary. It's been a little bit unseasonably, cool around here. So I'm not sure what you guys are like in your neck of the woods, but yeah, but I'm looking forward to something totally different. And but we'll see with that kind of thing going on. I mean, who knows how different things will be, or yeah, who knows. Let's see, what else do we have? AZ says, oops. He says, I accidentally ordered the Impossible Burger and have to admit it was not bad. All right. So any day now, some of you wonderful content creators are going to go to you're going to make a video and you're going to show us the burger, the Impossible Burger. That's probably as close as I'll get to it, because I wouldn't. Chrysler Imperial H says, yes, it is the plant-based burger. Okay, and Zero the Infinite, it's lyrics for Childish Gambino song, Sweet Pants. Ah, I will look it up. You guys, how can I can't miss it. I don't want to miss the nuances coming out of the stream, and I don't. I've got Awesome Alice's reading list noted, and now I have a song to go with. A song for my edification. Thank you so much for that. And Awesome Alice says that I eat turkey burgers. Yeah, I mean, I like turkey burgers. I haven't had one in a long time, but yeah, I like turkey burgers. Let's see. And Awesome Alice says, I don't eat out really at all. Yeah, well, that's good. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I don't know what your guys' experience is, but it just seems like most of the food, it doesn't really have the taste that you remember as a kid. I mean, is that too old school for you guys, or is that just my imagination? I mean, even if you eat like a potato chip, it tastes less. There's more salt than there is potato, or it's almost like there's very little potato in the potato. Like I don't know. I don't want to, be too much conjecture, but it just seems like it's just not the experience. It's like, it's not worth the calories, the empty calories. It's not worth it anymore. I mean, yeah, I mean, who knows? But yeah, I will not do, what was it? Have you guys ever tried that was the Morningstar burgers? I've never tried those before because I don't know. I'll tell you what I do like. I like black bean burgers, and I think I've actually made those before, and I've had those before. But a black bean burger, I know what's going into that. It's not something that that I would accept or I would have just anywhere. And yeah, like even things that are kind of vegan or vegetarian that you can make, or if you trust somebody to make it out for you. Yeah. I would go with that before I would. Yeah. Some of these things are just too, but if you look at it, just for example, Target, for instance, every time I go in there, I will say there's more of these alternative products on the shelf already than there are whatever you normally eat. Whether it's, I tend to eat more, if I'm going to eat some meat, I tend to eat more fish is what I tend to do. And even with that, I need to be careful with, I just prove everything just about. It's getting a little bit bizarre. It's getting really, I don't know, not neurotic, but just, yeah, things are just not exactly the same. And, yeah, you're being shifted towards these alternative diets, and we have been for some time. I think we can meet in the middle on that. And Awesome Alice says, yeah, it's smaller and less amount for the money. And she says, get you a dehydrator and make your own chips. Not a bad idea. I mean, and I have no problem with that. I mean, I've made things that pretty much I grew up around people making things homemade, and pretty much getting something out of a drive-through was pretty much almost what, like, dare I say, blasphemous or something. It's like, what is that? What do you have in that little bag? Or, what do you have in that little brown bag? And something from the drive-through, dare I admit that I almost didn't want to bring that bag home because, yeah, that's just, yeah, my family made quite a bit from scratch. And, yeah, even semi-homemade was a rare thing. But yeah, I guess that's what's going on. I really appreciate you guys so much for coming in. I think that's going to wrap us up for your Saturday. I appreciate you guys for coming in. And yeah, so I'm going to run just a couple more on the infomercials, and I will be right back. And thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And if you haven't had a chance to feed the AI, it's important during these times. So I'm thinking of, maybe, we'll do a little bit more encouragement on that. I'm sorry I don't have anything to compete with the Shake Shack and all these other things, but we'll see. But I'll be right back. right, guys, and I want to thank you guys once again for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And I want to say hi or salute to everybody in the stream. And if I don't get you, it is not personal. It is just me refusing to wear my glasses, but I'm going to try not to make it that mistake. So thank you so much, Chrysler Imperial H, for coming in, and Old School Wolf Media. Thank you so much for coming in. It's always nice to see you. And also Chrysler Imperial H, Sleek Steaks Rule. Thank you so much for coming in and for giving me that audio check, that audio reality check. I need that around here. I need that extra support. Unfortunately, I do it every time. And Awesome Alice, thank you so much for tuning in and supporting us. And Minenram TV, Killer Whale Channels, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And Predem. That's it. If I pronounce it wrong, then yeah, please don't freak out. It's not personal. It's just it's Predem, thank you so much. And Jermaine G, thank you so much for coming in. And AZ Infidel, thank you so much for coming in and all that you do to support the channel. And Marcy T, thank you, Marcy T. And Marcy T is one of our newest patrons around here. I really appreciate that. And she's pretty stimulating and pretty, she's on fire in the chat along with Awesome Alice. So yeah, never a hair out of place from these ladies. Alex Bleeping Jones, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it and all your support. And I say this all the time, even though this is not a growth stream, I do encourage you guys to get to know each other. Alex Bleeping Jones is a fantastic content creator, and I think he has a great channel, great content, and I think you'll be well received if you go over there. So if you will check him out. And let's see, did I miss anybody else here? I don't think that I did. Zero the Infinite is always sneaking in here. And I was like, maybe your ears were burning because I did say your name. I did say Unfortunately, you can't quite delete my personal infomercials around here because who knows, your name might come up. And also, I have some new people that I will be adding to our Twitch honor roll. So thank you guys so much. I do believe it was it Callie Unknown 007. I will be adding you to the honor roll. Thank you so much over there. And if you're on Twitch right now, thank you so much for supporting. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the parody, and thanks so much for coming in on your Saturday. I'm gonna get the day right. It is Saturday. So sad. And the TR show. How can I forget the TR show? So yes, we have lots of great content creators in here. So you guys, check each other out, see what's happening. See if you run into a kindred spirit around here. It doesn't hurt. Nothing to lose. And I'm missing Apostle Edgar Campagna. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. Okay, and we are going to be closing out this stream on your Saturday. All right, guys, thanks for coming into the Maybe a Treat. Guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And don't forget that I did take the plunge. I'm over on Twitter, and we'll see how long that lasts, before I get pushed over the edge. We'll see. I don't know. But we have Twitch, and yeah, I'll see you guys around on the next one. Have a great rest of your Saturday/Sunday. Getting another comment here. All right, thanks so much for coming in.